Good evening. Our news summary for this Thursday, the 26th of February. The Office of the President has announced the appointment of Josie Ita Michaud-Payet as Mayor of Victoria. Mrs. Michaud-Payet brings more than 40 years of experience in communications, public relations, and community engagement. She has held senior roles with the SPC, Air Seychelles, the Ministry of Health, and SAPEC. She is a founder of the Cancer Concern Association and serves as vice chairperson of the Seychelles chapter of the African Women's Leaders Network. She has also been involved with the Women of Seychelles Inspiring Transformative Actions Foundation. A statement from State House says she will support the development and promotion of the capital and strengthen community engagement. The sovereignty and importance of the Assumption Coast Guard base, whose facilities will be extended soon, was the subject of a press conference at Liberty House this morning. The heads of three government entities, namely Major General Michael Rosette, the Chief of Seychelles Defence Forces, Pierre Laporte, the Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Trade and Investment, and Marie-Mé Jérémy, the Minister of Environment, Climate, Energy and Natural Resources, were present to address persistent queries about the proposed extension of the existing Coast Guard base there. Major General Michael Rosette says that the project will kick off in a matter of weeks and that the Seychelles Defence Forces has not formalized any agreement with the Indian government regarding the project yet.
Well, of course, as we are partners with many friendly countries, and these friendly countries assist Seychelles Defence Forces by providing training, providing certain guidance, certain expertise, and certain equipment which they provide to the Defence Forces. So this will be the case also for Assumption Island. This has been the case in the past, as I mentioned earlier. India provided a radar station for Assumption Island and facilities. But of course, we will work together with other countries if they want to provide the Defence Forces various other type of equipment to conduct surveillance and patrol in the region. We will do so because nowadays no country can do or conduct surveillance in certain areas alone. We require each other to work together. Seychelles form parts of various regional organizations that conduct surveillance and patrol in the region. So we will continue in that line to work together with our partners. But our sovereignty and the manning of the Coast Guard station remains with the Seychelles Defence Forces.
The panel was also queried about the threat of pollution to Aldabra, especially with future extensions of the fuel depot on Assumption, amongst other issues. I will continue the news. The National Assembly has approved a budget of SCR 14,687,000 rupees for the Seychelles Communications Regulatory Authority, with debate centering on boosting competition in the internet sector and tackling connectivity issues across the islands. Vice President Sébastien Pillet says allowing Starlink to operate locally would increase competition, lower internet prices, and improve the ease of doing business in Seychelles. The SCRA Chief Executive Officer, Wilven Jean, noted that Starlink's entry would come with conditions to protect local operators while ensuring revenue for the country. Lawmakers also raised concerns about weak or absent signals on Pralin and La Digue. A study is now underway to address connectivity gaps, while providers are being urged to share infrastructure to improve coverage. Vice President Pili says persistent signal gaps on Mahé and other islands are unacceptable, stressing that opening the market to new technology investors is key to national progress. The National Institute of Science, Technology and Innovation, NISTI, has received its budget, enabling it to begin operating again as an institute. All members of parliament from the US party who were present voted in favor of the budget, while all members of the LDS party voted against it. Vice President Pili says the allocated budget of 6.26 million rupees will allow NISTI to commence its operations. It should be noted that under the previous administration, NISTI was placed under the Ministry of Education but not as an institute. Seychelles has received a better rating of largely compliant from the Global Forum on Transparency and Exchange of Information for Tax Purposes. This means Seychelles is now doing a much better job of sharing tax information with other countries when asked. Seychelles was rated partially compliant in 2020. As a result, the European Union placed the country on its tax blacklist. Since 2020, the government has introduced new measures to improve the country's ratings. With its new largely compliant status, Seychelles no longer meets the EU's conditions for being listed. The EU Council is expected to review Seychelles' status soon. The Ministry of Finance says the upgrade shows that Seychelles is meeting international standards and improving its reputation as a responsible and cooperative financial center. The Citizens Engagement Platform Seychelles CEPS will host its annual Volunteer Awards ceremony in December to recognize outstanding volunteers. This year, a new category, the Public Choice Award, has been introduced. Nominations will open from June to August in 3 categories. Volunteers must be over 12 years old and the organization they represent must be registered with the Registrar's Office for more than 2 years. CEP CEO Tessa Henderson said that nomination forms, along with supporting photos, videos, and evidence of work, must be submitted during the nomination period. Forms will be available at the CEP's office. Around 80 associations are currently registered with CEPS. The awards ceremony will take place in December. And now we'll go back to the news on Assumption, where the panel was also queried about the threat of pollution to Aldabra, especially with future extensions on the end of the fuel depot on Assumption, amongst other issues.
Similarly to the provisions of the law that exist for all other islands whereby we have facilities whereby there's fuel storage involved, there are standards in place that guide how they are going to go about it, and these would also be honored on Assumption. We will ensure that this will be commensurate on the size and the amount of fuel that is expected to be on the island, and the Seychelles Coast Guard is already very much aware of those norms which they already honor at their bases here on the mainland, which will be the case. And I think it will also be there for the responsibility of the Ministry of Environment to make sure that these are followed through properly with the right amount of enforcement once the base is up and operational at its full capacity.
And with this, we come to the end of this news summary. Have a very pleasant evening.